So every once in a while I like to read this very short sutra from the numerical discourses of the Buddha, so from the Pali Canon. It's about 1 page long, maybe a little more, and it's called The Four Modes of Progress. So I thought I would share it with you because it's nice to know what it takes to make progress on the path. And so the Buddha, and I'll mostly paraphrase, he said to the monastics, there are 4 modes of progress. And what are these 4? Well, there's progress that's painful with sluggish direct knowledge. There's progress that's painful with quick direct knowledge. There's progress that's pleasant with sluggish direct knowledge. And there's progress that's pleasant with quick direct knowledge. So here, what are those 4? So what is the one that's painful, the progress that's painful and sluggish? So you're kind of slow. So here is when the practitioner is by nature strongly disposed or involved with lust and hatred and delusion, like anger and desire and ignorance. So they're very strongly, that's very much a part of their experience. And they often then experience the pain and grief that come from those different afflictions, right? And so also the 5 faculties that make for progress in that person are, he uses the word rather tender. And what are those 5 faculties? These are the faculties of faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. So this is how we make progress. We have some conviction, and we then, with conviction or faith, and we have some energy, and we'll make effort. And then we work on our mindfulness, our concentration, and our wisdom. So that's kind of the formula for how to make progress in the Dharma. So if those things are kind of tender, because of that tenderness, then their progress is kind of sluggish in terms of removing the afflictions. So that's the mode of progress that's painful and sluggish. And then what is painful and quick? Well, there they still have by nature, anger, lust. The different afflictions are rather strong. But now their faculties are prominent. These 5 faculties of faith and effort, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. So with that, because of their prominence, then immediately they can destroy these different taints as they come up. So that's the mode of progress that's painful and quick. And then what's the one that's pleasant and sluggish? So that's when you're not by nature strongly disposed to these different afflictions. And so you don't very often experience the pain and grief that come along part and parcel with the afflictions. That's kind of what they are by, it's their nature to be disturbing. So, and then in that person, because their faculties that lead to progress are kind of tender, which I think is a very interesting word to use, because it has a feeling to me, you could have said they were weak, right? But they said tender. And to me, I think that's kind of a kindness in a way, to think of us as human beings making effort, and we just aren't so strong in those things yet. So to say they're tender, I find that quite nice. And so for them, because they don't often experience the pain and grief that come with the afflictions, but because their effort and these different faculties that make for progress are kind of tender, then they don't make very quick, they're kind of sluggish. And then of course the last one is the person, the mode of progress is pleasant because their afflictions are not so prominent. And they are also quick because they have prominence of these factors that help you to increase. So what does that mean for us? That means we can all make progress. That's what the first thing I thought when I read this, like, great, no matter what, you can make progress. You have to, think about your situation, wherever we fall in the terms of the pleasant or painful part of that one, that's really our past karma ripening. So that's kind of a done deal. You know, we have to kind of accept that and just not let it take us down. You know, try to learn to see all the various situations that we find unpleasant as a ripening of our karma that is now finished, and then put forth the effort to try to improve ourselves, create causes for happiness in the future, because what is the cause of happiness is virtue. So, you know, as long as we're doing that, then the Buddha said, you will make progress. These are the 4 modes, and then you can look into your experience and you can see some things come easily in your Dharma practice, some things kind of come slow, but as long as you're kind of can hold it in this light and try to work on a faith that is based on reason, then things will follow from that, because that's what Nagarjuna says. In order for us to make progress in the path, we need faith and we need wisdom. He kind of left out the middle steps there, right? But it's the same thing in a way. And so, of the 2, the wisdom is more important because that's what actually helps us to progress. But the faith is also indispensable. So then, you know, if you're like me and doubt comes up a lot, I've kind of been thinking about this more, and I think that really the antidote to doubt is a kind of conviction, kind of faith, because when I watch in my mind what I do to try to dispel doubt, seems to me exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to have more conviction about things, and that for me is a conviction that's based on reasoning, not one that's it's much more stable that way. So, good luck, make progress, help sentient beings.